Do not open the messiest closet in your house first. Open the bathroom cabinet or the drawer under the sink, or that shelf where you keep candles, notebooks, sprays, creams, bottles, refills, and all the things you were once absolutely sure you would finish. Now ignore everything that is still unopened. Ignore the things you never use. Just look at the things you have already started using. The shampoo bottle with about 1 inch left at the bottom. The lotion you replaced before the old bottle was empty. The candle that has only burned halfway down. The notebook with 5 pages written in it. The cleaning spray that is almost empty, but somehow never actually leaves the cabinet. This is a kind of clutter that does not look like clutter because you have used it. And that is exactly what makes it stay. In many Japanese-inspired home systems, the principle is not simply to buy less, it is to finish first. Because a home does not become full only because of the things you bring into it. It also becomes full because of the things that never reach an ending. Half-used clutter is difficult to notice because it looks responsible. You do not throw away the shampoo because there is still some left. You do not let go of the lotion because that feels wasteful. You do not get rid of the notebook because it still has hundreds of blank pages. You do not let go of the candle because you might still use it one evening. None of these things looks like a problem on its own. But when the same logic applies to dozens of things throughout your home, you begin to build a very different kind of inventory. Things that have been started, but never finished. And there is one sentence that describes this problem very clearly. Almost empty is still taking up full space. A shampoo bottle with only 5% of the product left still takes up an entire spot on the shelf. You still see it. You still have to move it when you clean. You still have to remember that it is there. And if you have already opened the new bottle, now you have 2 things to manage instead of 1. This is often how half-used clutter doubles. You buy a replacement. There is nothing wrong with that. But then you open it before the old one is actually finished. The new bottle is fuller. It is easier to grab. It feels newer. The old bottle immediately changes from something you are using into something you feel like you should finish. And something you want to use is very different from something you think you should use. One fits naturally into your routine. The other becomes a small obligation. You see it, you remember that you have not finished it, but your hand still reaches for the new bottle. Opening the replacement too early creates 2 things to manage instead of 1. That is a hidden cost that is very easy to overlook. A new life cycle begins before the old one has been closed. So the finish first rule begins with one very simple change. If the item you are currently using still works for you, is still safe, and you still want to use it, let it actually reach the end before you open the replacement. This does not mean forcing yourself to use every last drop of everything you own. There are products you no longer like. There are things that no longer work for you. There are things that are damaged, expired, or simply should not be used anymore. Finish first does not mean suffering through something just to avoid feeling wasteful. It means not allowing something to live indefinitely in an undecided state. If you want to use it, finish it. If you no longer want to use it, give it an appropriate ending. But do not let it sit in the back of a cabinet just because you might use it someday. And this is the very human part of the problem. Sometimes we do not keep things because we still like them. We keep them because getting rid of them makes us feel guilty. A lotion that does not work for you, a cleaner you do not like, a candle with a scent that no longer feels right, a notebook you once started with, a lot of excitement. You look at these things and think, I paid money for this, I could still use it. Getting rid of it would be wasteful. But keeping something you no longer use does not make the waste disappear. Sometimes it simply moves the waste into your living space. An old purchasing decision does not become a better decision just because your home holds onto it for another 2 years. If the item still has value for you, let that value be used. If it does not, give it a clear ending. And there is a third option that we will come back to later. Some things do not need to be replaced at all. The problem is not that you own these things. The problem is that they have no ending. What is the first half used thing that comes to mind for you? Shampoo, lotion, a candle, a notebook, or cleaning spray? If you want, comment. Just one item, because once you notice the first one, the rest usually start revealing themselves very quickly. The bathroom is one of the easiest places to see this pattern. An old shampoo bottle in the corner of the shower, a new bottle sitting in front of it, a lotion in a drawer. None of these things looks like major clutter, but together they create too many products that are active at the same time. For simple categories, try having just one main item in use at a time when that makes sense. One main shampoo, one main lotion, one main hand soap. Not because you are not allowed to have options, but because the more things you have open, the more life cycles your home has to hold at the same time. The same problem appears under the sink. A cleaner that is almost empty, a new bottle, an old bottle you do not even like anymore. At that point, wiping down a surface can begin with a decision. Which bottle should I use? Cleaning should begin with an action, not a product decision. If you have too many cleaners open at the same time, choose one main bottle. For everyday cleaning, the rest need to be finished, released, or placed in the category of things you will not buy again. The pantry has its own version of this problem. An open bag of pasta, a box of tea. With only a few tea bags left, a snack no one wants to eat anymore. Opened food can easily fade into the background when there is no clear next time you plan to use it. You do not need to reorganize the entire pantry. Choose 3 opened items and create one small group. Use next, not to make the pantry look prettier, but to give those opened items a chance to reach an ending. But the hardest kind of half-used clutter is usually not shampoo or pasta. It is the notebook, the planner, the sketchbook, the things that are carrying an old intention inside them. A notebook with only 5 pages written in it is not just a half-used object. It may represent a version of yourself you once wanted to become. The person who would journal every day. The person who would write more consistently. The person who would use the planner all the way through the end of the year. That is why these things are harder to make decisions about. Some half-used things are holding an unfinished version of yourself. But not every good intention needs a permanent place in your home. You can look at that notebook and say, I still want to continue this. If that is true, bring it back into your active life. But you can also say, this no longer fits the way I live. Ending an old intention does not turn it into a failure. Sometimes it simply frees your home from having to store a decision you have already changed. And there is another kind of half-used clutter. The things you are saving for a better occasion. A beautiful candle. You bought it because you loved the way it made you feel, but then you do not use it because an ordinary evening never seems special enough. Saving something for a better moment can quietly stop it from ever becoming part of your life. If you still love that candle, use it this week. If you no longer want to, use it. That is also an answer. Do not let save for later become a storage category with no end date. By now, this pattern has appeared in the bathroom, the cleaning cabinet, the pantry, the desks, and even among the things you are saving for someday. These are not several separate clutter problems. They are one open loop problem showing up in different places. Which area of your home has the most half-used clutter right now? The bathroom, the kitchen, the desk, or somewhere else? Comment just the name of that area, because from this point on, we are not looking for clutter anymore. We are starting to close the life cycles that are still open, and the easiest way to do that is to create a finish first zone. A finish first zone is not a new storage zone. Do not grab a large basket and put 20 half-used things into it. You have only given unfinished clutter a nicer address. A finish first zone needs to be small, 3 to 5 items, a lotion that is almost empty, a cleaner you still want to use, a candle that has burned halfway down. Put them somewhere visible and easy to use. A finish first zone is not a place to keep things, it is a place to finish them. Storage asks, where should this item live? Finish first asks, what needs to happen so this item no longer needs a place to live? If your shampoo only has a few uses left, move it to the front. If you still want to use the candle, put it somewhere you will actually light it. If the notebook still has a purpose, turn it into your active notebook. Do not add another organizer. Do not create another decluttering project. Just help. A few things move toward an ending, and for simple categories, when it makes sense, try keeping only one main item active at a time. One shampoo, one lotion, one cleaner. The fewer open loops your home has, the easier it is to know what to do next. When you want to clean the sink, you do not have to stand there staring at 5 bottles. When you want to use lotion, you do not have to remember which bottle you are supposed to finish first. A good system does not necessarily make you more disciplined. It simply reduces the number of decisions you have to make. If small systems like this help make your home easier to maintain without turning everything into a decluttering project, you can subscribe to The Quiet Home. And there is a deeper reason half-used clutter keeps appearing. We often enjoy starting more than finishing. A new bottle feels good. A new notebook feels good. A new planner feels like a fresh start. The old item does not have that advantage. The almost empty bottle does not promise anything. The notebook with a few pages already written in it is no longer perfect. So sometimes, we replace the feeling of progress with the feeling of starting over. But those are not the same thing. A new product feels like a fresh start. Finishing the old one is what actually closes the loop. Progress in a home can sometimes be as small as one final bottle leaving the shower shelf, a clear decision about a notebook. Nothing dramatic, just a little more empty space, one less decision, one less thing to remember. Before opening something new, try asking yourself, do I actually need this right now? Or am I just craving the feeling of starting over? Sometimes the answer is that you really do need it, and that is completely fine. But sometimes the old item only needs a few more uses before it is finished. And once you can see this pattern, every half-used thing can move toward one of 3 endings. Finish it. If you still want to use it, bring it back into your active life and use it. Release it. If it no longer fits your life, let it go in a safe and appropriate way, or stop replacing it. If you keep buying the same kind of thing again and again, but almost never finish it, that category may not actually fit the way you live. Maybe you like the idea of candles more than you actually enjoy using candles. Maybe planners always feel exciting when you first buy them, but they do not fit the way you organize your life. That is not failure. That is data. Your home is showing you what is actually worth buying again. Finish it, release it, or stop replacing it. And before you decide what to do with a half-used item, try the half-used test. Question 1. Do I still want to finish this? Question 2. Will I use it in the next 7 days? Question 3. Am I keeping it because it serves my life, or because I feel guilty letting it go? If you still want to use it, move it somewhere. That makes it easy to use. If you do not, give it an ending. If you are not sure, give yourself a short deadline instead of allowing not sure to continue indefinitely. And if you want to try the entire system this week, you only need 3 steps. Choose one small area. It could be a bathroom cabinet or a desk drawer. Then find 3 to 5 half-used items. For each one, choose a path. Finish it, release it, or stop replacing it. Finally, for 7 days, choose one category and try not to open a new replacement until the item you are currently using reaches a clear ending, as long as it still works for you and is safe to use. This is not a rule for the rest of your life. It is just a small experiment. 1 week to see how your home feels when the number of open life cycles starts going down instead of continuing to grow. A half-used thing does not always look like clutter. It looks responsible. It looks practical. It looks like something you should finish someday. But a home can become heavy from too many somedays, because sometimes a lighter home does not begin with a massive decluttering session. It begins when the things that have already been opened are finally allowed to reach an ending. If you want more Japanese-inspired home systems that help your home create less work instead of asking you to clean more, subscribe to The Quiet Home, and in the next video, we are going to look at home products that are sold with the promise of making life easier. But once they enter your home, they quietly create more things to store, clean, refill, remember, and maintain. Before asking where a new item Should be stored? Ask a different question. Does it actually reduce the work your home creates? Or does it simply create another life cycle for you to manage? A home can become heavy from too many some days.